Hello, salams everyone. Today we're going to talk about postpartum depression and generally depression in mothers. And we have today a clinical psychologist, Madam Salma Bashir. She's been a psychologist for quite a long time, and I thought she'd be the best fit, especially since she comes from our own coastal community, and to better talk about postpartum depression and demystify the myths we have about women that are going through this. Karibu, Madam Salma.
Thank you very much, Nusrat. Hi, everyone. My name is Salma Bashir. I don't think I'm an expert. I just think Nusrat really knows what she's talking about.
It is your field, though, yeah?
Yeah, my field is clinical psychology, yes. I guess we're here to talk about postpartum depression, which is something that happens a lot in our community, but I think watu hawaongei juu ya hii kitu, yeah?
Hawaongei na pia they dismiss it.
Yeah, they dismiss it, yeah.
I mean, how can you be ni mama unzaa mtoto wako, the people out there looking to have babies, alafu unzaa mtoto wako and you are depressed, you don't want this baby, sijui nini, how is it possible, you know? Yeah.
After all, having a baby, people think that, having a baby is something that, it's a bundle of joy, and when you have a baby, everybody's celebrating the birth of a baby, and it's, the ribbons and the bonnets and the bonnets and the baby shawls.
And the baby and the food that comes with that.
And
yes,
it's true. It's
yeah,
true.
So you can't think kwamba there's any negativity that could come from having a baby. So
it's true. Yeah. It's true. But you could have the baby blues, huh?
Yeah. So I guess what is postpartum depression would be the main question. Yeah.
I think one thing we have to talk about is that there's, maybe we differentiate two things. Huh? Let's differentiate the baby blues, which happens to many people, in fact the majority of people. Alafu kuna postpartum depression. So baby blues is it can last up to a few days, to a week or two after a baby is born. When after a baby is born, we have an intense fatigue.
Yeah.
Because babies hardly sleep, and they cry a lot. So what happens is we may experience a lot of fatigue. So we get a lot of mood swings. We tend to cry quite a bit. We are irritable because we are tired, and we are overwhelmed because this is a very tiny baby. We don't know how to wash it. We don't know how to even breastfeed the baby. The baby doesn't latch properly. So you have trouble sleeping because also the baby has trouble sleeping. Yeah. So maybe we may have had, especially for a newborn mother, you may have had a lot of expectations that when the baby is born, everything is going to be really nice and smooth and easy.
Like how we see in movies.
Yeah, how we see in movies, this sweet little baby sleeping, and then you just have this baby who's screaming the whole night and who doesn't sleep. So you have the baby blues. So that's baby blues. And it happens to all of us when we realize, hey, this is not what I thought it.
Though we don't admit it.
We don't admit it.
We are both mothers here.
I remember I was like, hey. And then postpartum depression is something else. Yeah. It's something else. And it can happen even before you give birth, during the pregnancy.
Okay, that I didn't know.
Yeah, it can happen a few weeks after the pregnancy.
Yes.
It can even start a year after the pregnancy.
Oh.
And the symptoms, the signs and symptoms are, zile, what you go through is much more intense. What happens is you have depressed mood or severe mood swings. 1 minute you're really sad, 1 minute you're okay. So it is severe, and they last longer, and excessive crying. And the one thing is you have difficulty bonding with the baby. You just don't seem to love that baby, which makes you feel like overwhelmed. You feel like you're not a good mother. You have fear. And with that, you're feeling worthless. you feel guilty, you feel ashamed, like
Yes.
what's wrong with me? Because the automatic feeling is that you have to be a good mother.
You have to love that
You
baby.
have to love that baby.
Yes.
And then you tend to withdraw from your friends and your family because you feel, what's wrong with me? And then some people, it's so intense, you want to smother the baby. You feel like, I want to kill this baby. I've read about mothers who actually kill their babies.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think there was a story on TV some time back over that mother that killed all her 3 kids.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes, yes,
yeah.
yes.
And I think the last one was barely 2 years old.
Yes.
So
yes.
like you said, it can occur even maybe over a year, and it happens.
Although for her case it may be something more severe than
could be.
it could have been, because
Yeah.
I'm sure she had to go for assessment at Madari Mental Hospital.
Yes.
So what happens is that you are unable to sleep, just like the typical symptoms of depression, suffering from insomnia, loss of appetite or eating much more than usual, and reduced interest or pleasure. You don't feel like doing the things that you usually used to do or liked doing.
Yeah.
Intense irritability, intense anger.
Could you feel like the baby stopped you from doing certain things?
Of
and
course.
blame the baby for it?
Yes,
Yeah.
that's why you feel like a guilt. Why this baby? And then you feel guilty when you feel like you're blaming the baby.
Yes.
Yes. And then you're so restless, and then again you feel a lot of anxiety, and why do I feel this way? And then you can also suffer from panic attacks.
Yes.
And then you may also have thoughts of harming yourself and the baby.
Yeah. From my experience with postpartum depression, it was a gap between, my last one was 8 years old, and then I was pregnant with my last one, and throughout the pregnancy I kept thinking of my mother's sister who died during childbirth.
Okay.
So for a whole 9 months
Okay.
my only thoughts were of her, to the point when I was delivering I kept thinking of her still.
Oh.
So was it fear of dying during delivery? Was it fear of not making it to full term and having my baby? And then now it proceeded to that, like what you were saying, that having the thoughts of harming my baby. So I actually did want to do all those things. I wanted to, mine wasn't smothering, mine was literally, I want to throw her off the balcony, I want to put hot oil on her, pour hot oil on her, I want to, if I held a knife, I'm thinking what would happen if I stabbed her,
Dear.
And for me, I guess from our previous conversation we've had, I guess because I was more self-aware of myself, and I knew that what thoughts I was having were not my thoughts, and this must be something wrong that is happening. And I remember Googling it, and I read about intrusive thoughts. They are not my thoughts, I don't want them, but they actually just keep coming to me without even me thinking of them, and I guess I had a lot going on in my life then as well, new husband, and then immediately I got pregnant, and then a new environment. I'm from living alone with 2 kids to now having to move in and living with my mother-in-law. So a different change of lifestyle. I was doing I'd started my counseling psychology. We had started a new business. I was working. Yeah, so I was doing all that, and I think it in a way it played part to it. And I remember also asking you, like in my case, can a change of lifestyle, can an environment also trigger postpartum depression?
Definitely, you've described all the stresses that you are going through. Look at the stresses of, first of all, you have the intrusive thoughts of you losing your aunt who died during childbirth. That is, immediately my mind is going to post-traumatic stress disorder when you witness a death, an unexpected death, because usually in child delivery we are expecting a bundle of joy.
Yes.
We are not expecting a death. By the way, did the baby also die?
Yes, they both died.
So 2 people died, a baby and a mother died. So that is an unexpected death, which must have brought a lot of stress in you and your family.
Yes.
So that could be something that was buried in your subconscious, and that when you got pregnant, these are the intrusive thoughts that came.
Yes.
And at the same time, you're talking about getting married, remarried again, and having to live with a mother-in-law and starting a new business. These are all new stressors in your life. Okay, maybe remarriage is not a stressor, but adjusting to a new way of life could be a stressor. And then a pregnancy comes along, and alongside a pregnancy is the hormonal swings and everything. So again, this is a pile-up that comes, and definitely when you give birth, then there's the aspect of a newborn baby who is so demanding, and maybe at that time you want to impress your mother-in-law, you want to impress your new husband, you want to show them that you're a super mother and you're a super wife. So you are piling up a lot of pressure on yourself. So it might have been inevitable that this happened. So maybe my take would be, some of the reasons why some people get postpartum depression is, apart from the fact that maybe some people are predisposed to depression, others it could be because of the stressors that they come in their life, because having a baby is not a joke. I remember when I had a baby, both my babies were premature, and that means that it was really stressful. They wouldn't sleep well. I was always feeding them. I had to always feed them. And I remember, and I had to go back to work. And I remember one day asking myself, will I ever get through this fatigue? I have never been so tired in my life. So I recall one day walking into the HR office and telling my boss, I don't think I can handle this anymore. I would like us to discuss a flexible work plan for myself. So, and he says, what would you like? I told him, I have a premature baby. And this is the time when my baby should have been born. And this is the time when I'm coming to work. My baby should have been born now, but baby came when baby was 8 months old. So he says, okay, fine, what would you suggest? I said, I suggest allow me to come to work at 10 and allow me to go home at 12 and come back at 2 and leave at 4. And I will do work at home when I can. And he said, fine. And we agreed that I'd also come to work on Saturdays in the mornings. So the fact that my boss was allowed that flexi working plan really helped me. So the idea is, how can you speak out to seek help? And then another thing I also did was I planned, I read a couple of books on baby sleep habits. I remember training my baby how to sleep as early as 2 months old. Bathe baby at 9 p.m. Heat up the room. I was in Nairobi. I remember it was quite cold. Heat the room, bathe baby at 9 p.m. Massage the baby with warm olive oil. Feed the baby. Put her to sleep. I jump into bed. When the baby wakes up at 3 in the morning for her next feed, I have slept also.
You had to change your routine completely.
I had to change my routine, but I also changed the baby's routine. And among our people, they believe in bathing baby at about 10 in the morning. So I realized when you bathe baby at 10, they sleep throughout. I said, why don't I switch this to at night? So we both sleep at night.
So they bath, they relax, they sleep, and you get to sleep.
And there's no harm in bathing baby at night. So that's what I did. I switched the bathing routines. So to date, my kids bathe at night, and they sleep very well. So the idea is, how can you switch the routines of babies, and so that it can suit you and you can rest and stop being a super mother.
Not when the baby is sleeping, you find work to do in the house.
Don't cook food, don't clean the house.
But we are culturally brought up. You have to be able to take care of that baby, be able to take care of the big baby man that you have in the house as well, and the rest of the responsibilities. I mean, they don't change, they remain yours. So I guess it's high time, even us as women in our communities, to say that when I'm having this baby, I need time to myself. My husband should be able to cook for himself or find his way around the house. And in fact, that's when we should actually ask for support from our husbands a whole lot more. So because we are the ones that are in need of the support, you know, during this period, I guess, to avoid such occurrences of depression in mothers and even postpartum depression, I guess. Yeah,
it's true, Nusrat. And that's why when we talk about ile siku 40, those are beautiful days, siku 40 for a newborn mother, because on those days days when wapikiwa mashendea na soup, watu wanakuja kukukanda, baby anaoshwa. I mean, those are the days for you to rest. And there have been researches that have been conducted on the advantages of siku 40.
I remember Kiswahili wasema siku 40 mifupa bado haijaungana.
Yes. So I think we need to go back to the tradition of siku 40, where a lady apumzike hizo siku 40.
You're a queen.
Yeah, you're the queen. Yes. Alafu ile siku 40 wapa kwa hina nafikiri.
After the 40th when you go back to the husband.
So I think the wisdom behind zile siku 40 was for the mother to heal. And to be emotionally and physically strong again, and for her to rest, and also for her to manage the baby well, and most probably to avoid postpartum depression.
Yes, definitely.
But I think that now the society may not allow that, because we are living in a different environment, and women should not be scared to ask for help. Yes.
But in the setup where living alone, I mean, we have a lot of single parents as well.
Yes.
And just having a baby does not necessarily mean you have a husband at home.
Yes.
You know, so in that setup, I'm living alone. I've just had a baby, and it's one cranky baby. How do I handle that at that point? Am I allowed to leave the baby to herself, to cry to himself, and tend to myself? Would that make me selfish? Would that make me a bad mother? What can and what can't you not do as a mother, I guess, that might harm the baby?
Okay, that's a very good question, Nusrat. First and foremost, what all mothers should know, that having postpartum depression is not a sign of weakness, neither is it a character flaw. There's nothing wrong with you. It happens to many people. It happens to many women. And the first thing you need to do if you realize you have these symptoms is you need to get help. Go back to your gynecologist or go and see a doctor and tell them that these are the feelings, these are the symptoms that I'm having, so that you get help. Help is there. And you should be able to be put on some medication, or you should be referred to a psychologist to get some help. Even if you're a single mother, I'm sure you have a relative who can move in with you, a sister, a relative who can come and help you. However, if you find yourself alone in the house with a screaming baby, a crying baby who cannot be consoled, put the baby in a safe place, in a cot. Ama kama you don't have a cot, kwenye kitanda hivi,
kwenye godoro
chini, kwenye mattress, move to another room and cool down. I've never heard of a crying baby dying.
From crying.
From crying, yes. I never heard of a baby who dies from crying. Collect yourself, calm yourself down. If you're going to have a glass of water or you're going to have a mug of tea, jitulize, take some deep breaths, breathe deeply through your nose and exhale through your mouth. And then ukishajituliza mwenyewe, then come and pick up baby and then soothe your baby. So the idea is, do not attend to your baby when you are upset yourself.
Yes.
Because you may harm that baby.
Yes.
Yeah, so after you have cooled down, because I always say the burnt toast syndrome is very real. You cannot serve from an empty vessel. We mwenyewe mwanzo take care of yourself before you take care of somebody else.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it is very important to recognize that while you are very frustrated that this is happening to you, and this baby, no matter what you're doing, is not listening, is not getting any better, the crying is not stopping, but reaffirming yourself that I'm a good mother, I'm trying my best. Babies are just babies, and sometimes you can't help it. They're just how they are. And today is just a bad day, tomorrow will be a better day. And I guess those positive reaffirmations really help you put you in a good place mentally as well, and say that, it happens, and I'm not the only one it's happening to. It happens to the best of us, and I guess we need a whole lot more of that mentally.
Yes. So you're not a bad mother. Having postpartum depression is not a sign of you being a bad mother. It's just a cry for, it just means that you need help, and when you sort yourself out, when you're sorted out, you will be able to bond with your baby well.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then I remember you mentioning about a genetic predisposition of depression. In that, just like how diabetes is genetic, what else is genetic? I remember you saying something about what else.
People with high blood pressure, it can run in the family.
Yeah, like
diabetes.
Us, Glasses. We're wearing spectacles. I think the whole family.
Yes.
Something like that. So depression can also be a genetic
even
thing.
Postpartum, they say.
Even postpartum.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's not really you. Others inherited mashamba. You inherited depression. It could be that, So I mean, for me, it helps. Sorry, for me, it really helps me feel better, I guess, if I know it's run in the family, because I know it's something that I didn't control. I can't control.
Yes, it's true.
It's only how can I manage it.
It's true. And by the way, if left untreated, postpartum depression can go on for many months. It can. And I'd like to talk about one thing called postpartum psychosis.
Yes.
It's rare, but it does happen. Psychosis meaning, in Kiswahili, we say psychosis ni wenda wazimu, but I think it's really bad to call it wenda wazimu. But postpartum psychosis is a really rare condition that usually develops after 1 week after delivery. But I have had a lot of our nikisikiza wazee, they talk about so and so akishajifungua huwa paka mtoto apokonywe mtoto, manake yuwarukwa na akili, hawezi hata kulea mtoto, na mara utamwona akimbia nje, ninio hawezi kuangalia mtoto, hajifahamu, the confusion and disorientation.
Yes.
Yeah. And then they have obsessive thoughts about the baby, mtoto wangu yuko hivi, mbona mtoto wangu yuko hivi, ama maybe they're obsessed that somebody wants to harm the baby. Okay. Then they have hallucinations or delusions. They are seeing things, ama they are hearing,
Yes.
Or they have sleep hawalali. Or somebody has got excessive energy or agitation. I remember vile wazee wakizungumza, mtu ana nguvu, atembea kila mahali. I remember one day hearing some people talking about this lady who ashajifungua lakini ana nguvu za kuzunguka kila mahali, hawezi kumwangalia mwanawe.
Yani atatoka tu atembee, azunguke,
but hana akili,
hana fahamu yake.
And then paranoia, excessive fear that something is going to harm you, or somebody has been sent to harm you or harm the baby.
Yes.
You see?
Yeah.
And then attempts, most dangerous attempts to harm yourself or your baby. They have this fear. So that is, it may lead to life-threatening thoughts or behaviors, because they actually, now, that is why sometimes when you're talking about these people who actually kill, that could be because the hallucinations and the delusions could be anatuma voices
Anasema yule
wanamwambia
niliambiwa.
sauti za mwambia nende
Nikamuue.
yes, yeah. Now that needs immediate medical attention, and that is psychiatric help.
Yeah. So there's quite a lot that can happen to a woman upon delivery or through motherhood as well.
Yes.
Yeah. And mental health is not an African thing. It's definitely not a Swahili thing.
No, it isn't.
So all these conditions that we get from mental health are all new to our people, and I guess demystifying the myths that if you're suffering from mental health, the solution is the Bible only or the Quran only needs to be demystified. I think I said that, demystifying. But I always tell people, I think we discussed this, if you are sick, you'd still pray to God that I'm sick, please heal me. But it doesn't mean you won't go and see your doctor and get some penicillin or get some amoxil or whatever. You still get treated and you still pray. So why do we feel that with mental health it's different? Kwamba it can all just be sorted by just a prayer. We need to I guess understand that the mind can also get sick and it needs its treatment in conjunction with prayer, I guess. And the fact that we are having such conversations, I guess it's great. And I needed to talk about postpartum depression and depression in mothers, specifically because as mothers we are put almost near to godly manners. We are supposed to be good to our children unconditionally, no matter what, even when the fathers are not good, are not in the picture, but we are supposed to always pick up the pieces and continue with life. And sometimes along the way, when things are overwhelming and a lot, we do get the depression. And I guess we need to say when it's happening to us. And like you said, even I didn't even know that I could have gone back to my gyno and told her I'm suffering from this. What do I do? So people need to go back. If you can't talk to your immediate family and let them know what's happening to you, kwa sababu la kwanza la pili utambua una wazimu. Or in another setup wanaweza kupokonya mtoto. And that's what I guess most women are afraid of. For losing their kids, losing their homes as well, and also the way the society will look at you. So it's a whole lot of pressure when a person is going through that, suffer as well from feeling that, and it is not in their hands to do that. And I remember there was a question asked on Twitter. There's this story going on, a similar case, but this woman now had an 8-year-old child, and she didn't like the child from before delivery to throughout her pregnancy to raising her son. She just doesn't want her son. She doesn't love her son. And there was a lot going on, and she asked, could it be postpartum depression? And I was one of the people that said, even if it's postpartum depression, it can't last for 8 years. Maybe it was postpartum depression from the onset and resulted into something else. Or it could be she had some sort of trauma herself from her past, and it now all connected to
the attachment issues.
So, but the most important thing that everyone was telling her was to seek help.
Yes, definitely.
Seek help.
Yes.
And with such situations, we're even talking about maybe there should be an option for mothers to give out their babies when they give birth if they don't want their babies, rather than forcing this on a mother, because you gave birth and it's your responsibility for the rest of your life.
Yes.
And even the children that are affected in all this, I think there should be consideration for that as well. But definitely we do go through postpartum depression, and it is absolutely not any of our faults.
It's not a weakness, it's not a character flaw or weakness. It can happen to anyone. It can happen to anyone, and if it does happen to you, you just go and get help. For you, your self-awareness really helped you. And you, as you told me, you told your people around you, look out for me.
Yes.
That you're seeking help.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, look out for me. Yeah.
And they didn't know what it was, but all I told them was, this is what I'm feeling. I'm having a lot of intrusive thoughts of harming the baby, and I need to take a step back and see how I can unload myself from everything that I've carried.
And how is your relationship with your baby now?
It's wonderful.
There you are. You got over it.
She's an annoying 3-year-old, but it's wonderful. Yeah, I did get over it over time, but it helped me the most speaking out and saying, you know what, I'm going through this. Watch out for the baby. Watch out for me while I sort myself to get out of this. I was very selfish, and I'm glad I am. As mothers, we are told culturally, society-wise, not to be selfish, but we need to be selfish at times for our own well-being. Like you said, I cannot serve from an empty vessel, so I can say, I need a break, I need to take care of me first, so I'm able to take care of the rest of you.
In fact, by the way, I wouldn't call it selfishness, I would call it assertiveness.
Assertiveness.
You were assertive enough to say, I would like help, and this is when I say no. And I think a lot of our people have emotional problems because they don't know how to say no.
Yes.
And they don't know when to say no. Yeah. So they need to learn how to say no. And this is it. New mothers have to learn how to say no. I remember when I got my baby, and I was at my mom's house, and when people were coming to visit me, and I'm sleeping, and the baby is sleeping, and my mom was like, my people have come to visit you. I told her, Mom, baby is asleep.
Yes.
And she says, but my friends have come. I said, tell them baby is sleeping. Oh, what will they say? I said, just tell them baby is sleeping.
To Sasa. Yeah. What will people say?
I said, Mama, tell them baby is sleeping.
Yes.
I'm not going to wake up baby. So after some days, mambo yenu ya kizungu haya mimi nitayaweza.
But it isn't.
Yeah.
We need to change some of our ways.
Yes, and I remember how I used to be so strict. Don't touch my baby until you wash your hands with soap and water.
And people come full of perfume.
Yes, and please don't kiss my baby. Yes. Because my baby is a preemie. Don't kiss baby. Wash your hands with soap and water. These are simple hygiene things. And up to now, I do not touch anybody's baby until I wash my hands with soap and water.
I don't touch at all.
And I don't kiss anybody's.
I don't touch babies at all.
Even I don't, because how much are we carrying? And I don't like kissing people's babies because you don't know what people think about.
Yes. Or even what we carry as well.
Yeah, you don't know. So I think, and this is off topic.
No, but I guess it needs to be talked about. But in terms of new mothers, not really new as in anyone that's delivered, I guess. Our culture does not allow them that privacy of resting. And
yes.
They have to come and visit you. They have to come and visit you at very odd hours, especially like you said, when the baby is sleeping, when I want to rest at those, and sometimes they're very demanding. You'd get a mother-in-law coming in with her relatives or guests, and then demanding to be served, and demanding that audience. And by the time you're done, everybody leaves you with your own mess and your own stress, and your own house to deal with. And I guess we should learn, like you say, to be assertive na kusema no. Wataka kuja kwangu ni time flani mpaka time flani, and these are the rules, whether you like them or not, and I don't care who you are. We should learn to do that. I guess kwenye society yetu tuna a lot of haina neno, it's okay, haina neno, but we really do need to change for our own mental health well-being as mothers when we have kids, I guess. Yeah,
it can be a bit tricky with a mother-in-law, but again you need to prepare and prep. Sometimes it helps when you prepare in advance.
But wetu wana preparation in advance, really. Are you being realistic, really? But wetu hawana hivyo. So it's better you're just mean and you're like, no.
Na ile ndio mimi nakwambia ile 40 is really important.
And that 40 ndio the most stressful period, because that's when kila mtu
huendi kwenu. Uko kwako.
Hata ukienda kwenu
watu wakufuata.
Utafuatwa. The same thing. Ukienda kwenu utafuatwa, whether it's in your own home, it's the same thing. I remember telling a friend to disconnect her bell. naambia we disconnect bell, let them wapige paka wachoke, you know, and put your phone off, just do you know, just do you unapologetically, you know, because you need it,
you need the rest.
When without people, whether kitu kifanyika kibaya utalaumiwa, ukifanyika vizuri pia lawama haishi. So better just take care of you and your little nest that you have at home.
I hope that people will, as we go along, people will become more sensitive to the needs of others.
To the needs of others, to the needs of mothers, because mothers carry a lot, expected a lot from them.
Yes.
Yeah, so hopefully we can have more of these discussions.
Yes, please. I really enjoyed this conversation, Nusrat. Thank you very much.
Yeah, and I hope everyone else that's listening to this.
Yes.
We didn't have our makeup today, so we didn't do a video. Yeah, but anyways, jokes aside, we just thought we'd try doing it this way, and hopefully next time you get to see Madam Salma's face. Yeah.
I'm old enough to be her mom anyway.
But thank you for joining us for this conversation. I hope this conversation continues in your homes and you create that awareness that is much needed, and hopefully we can change our homes for the better, because society as a whole begins in my home and your home, of course. So thank you for tuning in. It's been Real with Nusrat. Bye guys.